Hello. Come on in the room, everyone. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Oh, yeah, I didn't take any pictures. I was too into this episode, y'all. I didn't take no pictures. Hey, Deodric. Oh, thank you. Actually, let me upload some pictures on here because the girlies need to know. The girlies need to know. Okie dokie. Let's do that. I put myself on mute so that I can do it. The girlies need to know. Honey, I'm her. I'm she. Gato's over here causing stress. Hey, Jasmine. Somebody's got the zoomies, and his name is Gato. Running around here causing me stress. Here, I'll also drop the video too. You know, your girl was nervous. She was nervous. She was nervous. Well, anyways, you guys come into the room. You know what it is. You know, we're going to get started at the 6:15 mark. Okay. Airdrop it. Okay, I put myself on mute. Hold on, I'll be back. It won't let me do the video of it, so you guys are just gonna have to look at that on Instagram. Girl, I haven't been hiding. Well, I was gone for a year. That's true. But I've been back now for a couple weeks. Back now for a couple weeks. Okay. Anyways, so as Deidre mentioned, I became a drag queen last Wednesday. And I've been thinking about doing drag for a very long time. I'm a huge Drag Race fan, and I do go to see local talent here in Minneapolis. And I just love the art of it. I love lip syncing. I love karaoke. Like I love anything that like allows me to like perform. And I want to kind of be fabulous and dip into femininity and all that entails that I don't have the energy to do on a daily basis or the want, but and drag kind of fulfills that. And it's an awkward space to be in a little bit as a cis woman because the space feels very much for expression for the LGBTQIA community. But we have been seeing a lot more bio queens kind of popping up and doing drag here and there. And so I'm one of them. I did get clocked backstage though. It was awkward. This woman was like, this trans woman was like, how do you identify? And I was like, queer. She was like, but like, are you cis? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm cis. She was like, oh. And I was like, but anyways, here I go. So I'm interested in the changing of the face, the shape of the face and changing that. I'm still working on what my face is going to be. But yeah, this is me in drag. I wish that I could do something that allows me to have bigger boobs. That would make me very happy. So that's backstage. And then oh, they're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue caused with Facebook. It is possible. So yeah. You look gorgeous in drag, and I love the off the shoulder look tonight. Thank you so much. I love that you're like Jack Quaylen's. Jacqueline. Thank you. I haven't seen or heard of a bio queen movement, Love Miss. I don't know that it's a movement, but they're definitely in almost every community there are bio queens. And you know, there are people who create drag characters and do things with their drag character. But I'm just a straight up lip sync, dancing on stage queen. Like I want to go, I want someone to pay me like a show up fee, and then I want to go on stage with a crowd of gato. I bought a head form and he's very intrigued with the head form. Oh. Leave my stuff alone. I bought a headphone. I'm gonna make a wig. I'm gonna make a wig. I'm gonna try to make a wig tonight. But anyway, so yeah, that's the story, Morning Glory. I just want to lip sync and have people give me dollar bills as I roam around and lip sync. Like it has been fantastic getting money just from being like, you know, and then getting to like dance and bop around to my favorites. So I was really nervous about what songs I was going to choose, and these are the two things that I learned. One, you try to pick a song that a lot of people know or that enough people know. Okay. Two, you want to pick a song that is longer than 3 minutes, less than 6. because the longer you're on stage, the more opportunity you have to make money. If you're only on stage for 2 minutes, sometimes the people in the crowd don't get into it. Maybe they're at the bar, maybe they're doing something else. They're not necessarily like sitting there waiting for you. And then also depending on the venue you're in, you do a little bit on stage and then you get off the stage and then you walk around the people. And so you have to have enough song. What the hell is this animal's problem? You have to have enough song in order to accommodate all of that. Now, it was fine for me last Wednesday because my friends were there and it was a competition show. And so, it was different. But then on Sunday, what I won, so I won on Wednesday, right? Sunday, I got a paid gig. So I go to the gig and at the end of it, they give me a lump sum in cash. Here you go, babes. And then whatever the tips I get, I keep. So love that for me because I was able to make a nice, a little change. So I made obviously more on Wednesday because all my friends were there. And Wednesday's competition is based on an audience like cheers. And so I had to bring a lot of people. And that's why I won. Like there was one queen who I would honestly say is better than me. And she got runner up. And no, there was a lot of queens. It was 2 queens that I would say were better than me. One of them had nobody there. The other one had maybe one person there, but was so good that like got all the cheers and screams. And then I got the most because my peoples were there. But I was good. But I think I was number 3. You know what I mean? So I won just sheer numbers. Now tomorrow, I do not know if I'll win. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's based on screams or whatnot. It's drag. Mac, you can't be late. This is me in drag, Mac. I'm a drag queen now. I've been working on this face for a while. Like I'll just like sit at home and do makeup and just like work on the face and figure out how I want her to look. And I'm still going to be working on her tomorrow. Like, I don't know if these are the eyes I like. I want them to be a little bit more angled up and less rounded. But my inspiration is Glodine. And if you don't know who Glodine is, it's a deep cut. But that's who my inspiration is Glodine. I do need longer nails and such. But the songs that I did were Bad Girls from Donna Summers or by Donna Summer. And I did, what else did I did Hell on Heels of Pistol Annie's because I'm in the Midwest. People listen to country music. So I needed to get the white folks somehow. Not to say that they don't know Bad Girls, but Hell on Heels did really well with a certain demographic of blonde lady. And they loved it. And so I was like, yeah. My drag name is Black Renaissance. But you can call me Renee. So it's a play on Black Renaissance, but it's Black Renaissance. No, girl, I'm in Minnesota. I've been in Minnesota now for almost 3 years. Okay, we've got 14 people in the room. That's enough to start. We're going to get started in about 20 seconds here. Hey, Spider Slayer. I always forget how to do it. Hey, everyone. I'm Wahima, but just call me Wah. There it goes. Hey, everyone. I'm Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup. This is season 6, episode 14. Diamonds are forever, or aren't forever, forever. Diamonds aren't forever. Didn't know it was going to go that deep. Okay, so this was a good episode. This was a good. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode because I think it moved the needle a little bit, and it was less about just like stupid mistakes. Like there's some peril happening, some folks that are in peril, and yeah, it made it very interesting for me. So if you could take time right now, the 18 people that are in this room, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, share on your socials. It's supposed to go live on Facebook too, but Facebook is acting up and I didn't have the time to fix it. But yes. Hey girl, I miss you and wonder where you've been. I'm thinking life by life and YouTube. Oh, yes, thank you. No, so I just kind of concentrated on my podcast called DocuSweeties. So if you follow me on my socials, just call me Wah. You'll see what I'm up to all day, day. So follow me on my socials. Follow me on Just Call Me Wah everywhere. And that way you know what's going on in my life. If there is a comment you want to make or something like that, you can go ahead and make the comment. I'm going to have it on the side of the screen. But let's jump right into this wonderful episode. Let's start with Michael and Justine, just because, like, okay. Thank you, Michael and Christine. Thank you so much thank you for being here and gracing us, I guess. So Michael and Justine are two people who don't seem to have any problems really, but that's what kind of makes it nice. I think you have to have one couple that is not in the trenches. And it was a really sweet moment that Michael had with his daughter. So we start off this episode where Michael is sitting in the living room with his mother and his daughter and kind of talking about the troubles that are going on between him and Christine. Maria all of a sudden seems like a decent person. She's no longer trying to check for like paternity. And she's living there with them, helping them with the kids. They don't have all 9 kids, but they do have her 5 kids and then his older 2, I believe. So I think that there's 7 kids in the house. So her 3 kids, his older 2, and then they're 2 together. So I think there's 7 kids in this house. That house upstairs it has a smell. There's too many boys. There's too many tall, musky ass boys in that home. Okay? There's too much. There's too much. It's too much. So yeah. So anywho, they're talking. Justine is just like, yeah, I have to, kind of have my own space because I feel like if we did talk to each other, you wouldn't validate my feelings and you would just make me more upset. So I just needed the moment to kind of feel through my feelings. And so they decided to go on a walk. And as they're walking down the street, they're just kind of talking about the things that they want for their future and how he's trying to make things happen and how she feels like he's just trying to make choices without her and that there has to be some middle ground where they can do nice things for themselves at this point. It's not all about that hustle. And I get that because she's been pregnant for what feels like 24 months. You know what I mean? She's been pregnant for a minute and I think the baby's like 5-6 months. So she's, got babies and she's got college age. She's got a wide range and variety of kids that she's working with. And, he's hustling. And so she's just like, I want to do something big. In 6 months time, I want to have a party. I want to have a wedding party. And no, they're not twins, girl. They're very close in age. They're not twins. One is 18 months and I think one is like 6 months. They're like real close. And yeah, so they decide on that. Meanwhile, he's having a conversation with his daughter, Melody, and she recently got into a fight because she was sticking up for Santana and she was sticking up for her brother, Michael Jr., and they were being made fun of. And she says that like at school, growing up, she had to kind of like hustle and do it all on her own. I feel like this is the case. They're from the East Coast. She wasn't going to take no shit from whatever girl in Las Vegas thought that she was, thought they were having a great time. And they were going to talk shit about these two people. I imagine that they know that they're on TV. And so they're going to come after them. And so Melody was not having it. So she slapped her. She slapped the girl. And then, so then that was like, some kind of drama from that. And Mike is worried that Melody is picking up behavior from him and is going down the wrong path. Now, I can't say that the girl is going down the wrong path because this is the only fight that we've heard of her having. And it felt like a worthy cause. Sometimes you do need to just beat people up for them to leave you alone. And that is a lesson that I will teach any child in my path because I didn't beat anybody up. I cried. And I'm still suffering from it. I think that honestly, if I had just slapped a couple bitches, even if they had beat me back up, even if they had come after me, I think the built up frustration of not having defended myself because I was told that school was the most important and you didn't go to school to make friends and like, who cares what they say? Like, yeah, who cares what they say? But like, I'm now a wounded 12, 11-year-old roaming around in this adult body. If I had slapped a couple bitches, I don't think I'd be as wounded. So I'm here to tell you, parents, right now, if your kids gotta slap a couple bitches because they think they can talk slick and say whatever the fuck they want, you let them slap them bitches. Okay? Now, if it becomes a pattern of behavior, then we could talk about it. So Melody has some tearful moments with Michael about like just kind of feeling like she had to do it on her own. And though I don't know because this is not my experience, but they make it seem like because Michael wasn't there, she had to do all of this on her own. And I'm like, well, how many other kids did the mom have? Where was her mom? She didn't have a village. Like, there's other people that can stand in the place. Now, I'm not saying replace her dad, but I don't necessarily know not having a dad in the home means that you going to be fighting bitches every day. But it might. And so she's learning how to parallel park, and she's not doing the best job of it, but he's trying to teach her. He's not good at teaching her at all. I got taught to drive from friends. Like I could never get my parents to like do it. So my friends just let me drive her mom's car in a parking lot. And that is how I learned to drive. Okay. My parents, I feel like I was there first. And so they just, when it was time to like do the things, they were just like, what? Huh? What? Oh, it's time for you to learn to drive? I was like, yeah. Can someone teach me? No, they did not. And so, yeah, so she's had to kind of, navigate the world. They say navigate the world by herself from 10 to 17. And I'm like, where was her mother? What do you mean by herself? So it turns out that Mike is on parole until 2042. 2042 seems wild. 2042? When did he get out? Let's just say he got out in 2022. That's 20 years that he's on parole. Why? I feel like if Mike is successful out of prison for like 7 years, 5 to 7 years, he should go off of parole. Why they gotta watch that nigga for 20 years? 20 years? I'm like, how old how old will he be? I can't even think of that number, 2042. Are we gonna have flying cars then? That's so far away. That's so far away. Okay, anyways. So yeah, that's the end of that. Justine wants a good venue and a badass dress. And so they're going to go to the East Coast to start looking at venues. And she said they're going to get married in 6 months. I'm like, girl, you need to give yourself a year. 6 months. That's not enough time, but do what you want to do. Okay. So next couple. If I gave you the hee ha-has at any time throughout this and you want to give your girl a tip, you can do so down below at those options. You also have like a thanks, super thanks, and other ways. Let's see. Did anyone send me anything last week so I can say thank you to you? I don't think so, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Jay Quaylen. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate you. Let me give you that little heart back. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. And anyone else, I'll look at it in a second and you let me know. And thank you so much. I am very grateful for you. I love a tip, I love a little tip. So let's move on to Troy and Zeruiah. Okay, I can't say that woman's name. Zeruiah. So Troy is on his way driving to either Syracuse or Buffalo. I'm not sure. I think it's Buffalo. And he got the call. The bat signal went out from his sister Jackie saying, you got to come here because our brother Vaughn is going a bad way. And so he's, driving around and he's like, respectfully, my wife is going to have to get over it because I got some shit to do and I can't have her with me. I don't want to have to answer to that. And Zeruiah is back at the lake house looking out the window, looking forlorn, saying that she understands that it's his family and that's things that he has to do, but that she's his wife. And right now she feels like a girlfriend. And I want to know what the example is that her parents showed her of like what that relationship looks like, because I never had that. My parents were not at the hip. Like if my dad needed to go somewhere because he needed to like find out where his cousin was or his brother was, that is a for sure a trip my mother would not be on. She would not be able to help him. She would just be there asking questions. And you know that sometimes when you got to get shit done, you can't have that person there just asking, oh, where is that? That you think they did? No. No, you can't be asking me any questions. This is not questions time. I'm trying to do things. I don't have time for your questions. And I feel like that's what Zeruiah would just be like giving her 2 cents on a situation that's already stressful and that doesn't require her to be there, especially if she doesn't have any like very specific buffalo sleuthing abilities. Like, how is she going to help him? And like, what do you mean you feel like a girlfriend? You're married to this person. What's the difference in the feeling? How does this action make you feel not like a wife? That's, I guess, my question, because I don't understand what her reference is of what a marriage is. Maybe her mother and her father be together everywhere. Maybe they're each other's best friends, but that's not everybody's journey. So he pulls up on the side of the road and meets his mother on the street. I don't know what is her name, Karen. I don't know what that lady doing. I do not know what that lady doing, but she ain't up to she's like, he know I'm high as hell. That's a ratchet ass mama. That's a ratchet ass mama. She is someone who does not acknowledge that her journey through motherhood was traumatic for her and the trauma she passed on to her children. Troy is very upset at her. Troy is like, I was a quiet kid and I really did not get my voice until I was a teenager. And then the voice was yelling and angry. And she's like, listen, y'all didn't want for nothing. Y'all have food. And it's like, from what he says, it's like sometimes she would just dip and then he would be with his aunt. So it's like, that's the one thing I want us to normalize. Motherhood isn't for everybody. And even though you have kids, doesn't mean that you want them or you're having a good time while doing it. I know a lot of women who should not have had kids. And I'm one of them. I'm so glad it didn't work out for me. Like, from what people talk about, yes, it's rewarding. It's all these things sometimes, but like for the most part, I'm having a great time without them. I barely handle gato. Now, for those of you who do have kids and are having a great time, hallelujah, praise the Lord. You are exactly what your child needs. You're exactly what your child needs. But like a woman who doesn't enjoy motherhood, it's hard on her. Maybe she's good at it, but she's not having a great time. She's waiting for you to get on up out of her house, or at least waiting for you to be able to put some shit in the microwave so she can have somewhat of a life. Somewhat of a life. As long as you know how to like scramble an egg and not put foil in the microwave, she's happy. And I think that that's such a detriment because men get to choose. They get to choose that shit. And it's thankless. It's thankless work. And I think if to be a good parent and a good mother, you really have to be attentive to these little humans that you chose to bring to this earth. They didn't choose to be here, and it's hard here. And for you to just bring them here and just be like, you should be grateful, that's wild. That's wild and crazy work. That's wild and crazy work. The youngest won't be 18 till I'm 50. God, Jasmine. Well, you'll still have your vagina, so hopefully everything will be good with it and you can go out there and pump it out at 56. You know what I mean? I love my only one, but shit, it's a lot of work. Yeah, no, I have a friend who, girl, at the same time when I was trying, she was trying, and it worked out for her. And she's like, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, God bless your IVF journey, but I'm glad you didn't have kids because this is too much. She said to me, she got one. She's like, I love the shit out of her. I love her. Wahima, I love this child, but it never ends. It never ends. When they're asleep, I'm worried they're gonna die in the sleep. She's like, it never ends. It's too much. I'm glad I only did one. Like, so let's leave room for that. But Karen ain't shit ass mama. She has no sense of awareness, no sense of self, is very much like, y'all are fine. I'm not chasing after a grown ass man. You're a grown man. I'm not chasing after you. Your brother Von's a grown man. I'm not chasing after him, but he's fine. I spoke with him 2 days ago. Like, I don't owe y'all nothing. I already did what I had to do for y'all. And now I'm going to go have a cocktail. I'm like, lady, you don't need a cocktail. You don't need a cocktail. Like, no more mind altering beverages and or plants for you, madam. Okay, no more for you. Don't forget about the grandkids. Oh shit, the grandkids. The grandkids. Yep, I can relate 100% to your friend. Yeah. When she said that to me, I said, you know what? I'm gonna sit in this gratitude of not having IVF work. I'm gonna sit in the gratitude of it because I could be stressed out right now. And I'm stressed, but I would not be able to do drag if I had decided to have a kid. I would not be able to doggedly pursue my dreams in the way that I'm pursuing them if I had kids. I wouldn't have time for this. I wouldn't have time for the podcast. I wouldn't have time to post on socials because I would be so consumed with the child. But that's my personality. This is why it's hard for me to have a 9 to 5 because I get consumed with the thing that I'm like, oh, that's important. I wouldn't do anything. So, there's that. But yeah, Karen ain't shit. And like poor Troy, they put them in a confessional together and he's just having a hard time having to relive his trauma and his mother just not taking any responsibility at all for it. So Vaughn is staying at his baby mama's house. And afterwards, after he figures out where he is, he picks up Jackie. They go to get Vaughn. Vaughn looks like he's on something. It looks like it's more than weed. I don't know if it's the same thing that Courtney's on. I'm not sure, but they go to their brother's gravesite. And their brother died back in 2008. I think he was either the oldest or the second eldest. And he says that one day he got a call from his dad saying that his brother was gone and that he had one shot. He was shot in the back and shot in the chest six times. I'm like, damn, they came after that. They came after him. That's wild. That's wild. This cat has never acted so rambunctious. You can't see him because I have the blur on, but look, he's up. He's at the top of his little tree thing, just making noise. You kind of see him there in the back. So yeah, he's cutting up right now. He act like I'm not on the phone. Every time I get on this phone, the kids always got questions. Then they start running around. It's only when I'm on the phone, because when I'm off the phone, they don't be my business. How many of you had your parents say that? Only when I'm on the phone, that's when you want to run around cutting up. So anyways, Karen and Zeruiah don't really fuck with each other, and that makes sense. I don't think Karen could really mess with anybody because she ain't it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Okay, so next couple that we're gonna talk about is Courtney and Will. Do I have a picture of Courtney? Oh, here they are. Courtney and Will. In case you don't remember what Zeruiah and Troy look like, here's what these two fools look like. This was a rather light episode. We did not have Bianca and Daniel, and we did not have Lakeisha and Keith, which is great for me. I was happy about that. Anyways, so Will and Courtney, she is in shock, Miss Courtney, okay? She's like, I cannot believe that Will just abandoned me. And he just broke up with me. And I'm like, you can't believe it? What luxury. What luxury to have just messing up and thinking that it'll all just remain the same, that no one's ever going to say anything to you, or that you're just, that nothing, you're just going to have what you want. What luxury. So Mark is like, yeah, loser. And I'm like, Mark, if you don't sit your weird ass down, Mark is weird as fuck. Okay? Mark is weird. He is just in the corner trying to get her attention, just in the cut, trying to be all up in their business. And she's like, I don't understand why Will just left me. Mark is like, loser. Mark, you're the loser. You're the loser. You are a certified loser as a her. So she says that she has not felt supported and provided for from Will, and that she would like to go see her mother, but she can't go see her mother because she has outstanding warrants in Washington for the same drugs, Percocet, or not Percocet, what is it called? Lean, whatever it is, the same drug. And so Mark then suggests that she move in with him, and she's like, no. And he's like, why? And she's like, because every time a man tries to give me something, he then tries to make it seem like in the beginning, like it's not for sex. But then eventually he will expect sex. And he's like, no, I ask for sex? And I'm like, Mark, come front and center. You are not giving this woman money just because you want to give her money. You're not a pay pig. You don't seem like a sub. You seem like somebody who wants to do the long con and who wants to like be with Courtney so bad that you're willing to forsake sex with her for at least, I don't know how long, or try to make her guilt her into it later like some weirdo. This ain't the time that we're in the modern era. Okay, Courtney is cut from a different cloth. Even though she's still an idiot, she's a young woman, and these young women, they know their rights. Okay, they know what's up. They don't happenstance and fall into stupid situations without knowing what they're doing, except for Brooke. But Courtney seems too smart for that, because she's, but as we'll see throughout this episode, finding ways to get money from several people at all times. And she's like, it's not my fault people want to give me money. Okay. And I said, you know what? That's true. It's not your fault if people want to give you money. That's a fair statement. So he says that there will be no strings attached and his pockets are open. I'm sorry, I'm gonna bring my phone up here so I can read my notes. That his pockets are open. And she's just like, it's just easier being in jail. And he was like, don't say that. Like, that sounds like some real institutionalized shit. She's like, well, I'm just saying it's just easier. And I'm like, oh my God. The amount of level of like ownership and responsibility and just things that I have to do, that the idea of like going to jail rather being in jail. I mean, I don't know. I've never been, but like, she doesn't want responsibility so bad. She is overwhelmed by having to do shit so bad that she would rather be in jail clothes, jail underwear, jail socks, and jail shoes walking around a jail. She would rather be in a space that is just concrete and bars and people tell you what to do. That's how hard life is for that baby. That's crazy. That's crazy. So he then gives her $60 as he drops her off somewhere, and then they say I love you to each other. No. So then we have Will, who's on his way to see a lawyer, and he says that he thought that him and Courtney would be together for a lifetime, and that he just didn't understand that, you know, she didn't really want the change. And, you know, they wrote each other letters. I can absolutely see you getting a handwritten letter from somebody thinking that, oh, this person wants to change. I see it in their writing that they want to change. Also, have you guys sat down and tried to write a letter recently? I'm going to task you with that. We'll talk about it next week. Just sit down and write a paragraph. Girl, I started taking notes with my hands for this show, and quickly every word was spelled wrong. My hand started hurting. My hand hurts when I write with it. It hurts. Yesterday, I was looking at a manual because I was trying to change the tire on my car, and the manual, the print was small, and I kept just wanting to like, I just kept wanting to like, so it's like, I cannot believe it. Like, I was like, how come I can't make this bigger? My hand hurts. Like, I was being very manual yesterday, and I'm not built for that anymore. God, we used to write each other notes and letters all the time in school. But anyway, so Will really felt like he knew her, but in fact, he did not. You know, she's as cunning and conniving as ever. And so wherever it is that Mark drops Courtney off, there's another girl named Mac who comes and picks her up. Now, Mac describes herself as toothless and ruthless. And I said, amen. Okay. Amen. Go ahead and just say the thing, because some of us are sitting here confused as to what's going on. You over here talking and whistling through your mouth, and we don't know what's happening. We're just like, now I'm gonna tell you right now, I have a gap, and sometimes it whistles. Sometimes it whistles. Sometimes I'll be talking and I'll hear like, and I'm like, oh. Now that's this gap. People who got full teeth missing, girl, I don't know. Toothless and ruthless. I love it so much. I love writing, and that's what happens to me now. It hurts so bad. I don't like the physical act of writing. This girl, I said toothless and ruthless is 100% correct, and I'm on your side, Mac. I'm on your side. So Courtney and Mac have never officially been together, but they used to fool around in prison together. And so Mac has offered her a place to stay, and is also offered to take Courtney to the pawn shop so she can pawn her $10,000 ring and whatnot. So then we cut back to Will, and Will is now at the lawyer's office, and this is just a fake preliminary proceedings, right? The man mentions to Will that this could run him $5,000, and Will is like, how can I do it myself? And the dude was like, I'll give you the website link, and then you just print it out and you just take it on over to the whatever. And so basically he's like, it's only been 6 weeks of marriage. Do I owe her alimony? He says, no, you're not going to probably owe alimony. Was there any fraud involved? And Will's like, well, yeah, she lied to me. She's sugar daddies and all this stuff. And the guy's like, so no fraud involved. Cool. And so Will now has an idea of how much it's going to cost. The problem is that she actually has to be served. I don't understand why. Well, I guess that makes sense, because I'm like, why can't you just like get a divorce and just be like, I don't want it? But if it were a man who promised to take care of a woman and then wants to divorce her and has the right to divorce her without her signature, that's crazy. So I understand why you would need that. But yeah, he's like, she needs to be served, so you gotta do this carefully and make sure that she gets it and is able to sign it and whatnot. So she says, Courtney, that since the breakup, she wants to concentrate on staying sober. And I don't feel like that's true at all. At all. So they take the things to the pawn shop because she needs money. She only has $50 in her pocket, which means that she spent $10 from the time Mark gave her money to the time they're going to the pawn shop. They get to the pawn shop and she hands over this ring, and this pawn shop lady is like, what do you want? What do you want us to do with this? And she's like, I was thinking that maybe I could get like 20,000 because it's supposed to be 10,000 per carat, and this is supposedly 2 carats. And this lady's like, not only is it not 2 carats, it's a 2 carat cubic zirconia. Like, just from the look of it, here's the truth. What happens is that people have never seen diamonds in real life. Until you have seen a real diamond, and I was this person because I had never seen a real diamond either until I moved to New York City. And then I saw a real diamond. Real diamonds actually shine without any light. They're actually like opulent. Like there's a quality to them that upon looking at them, you kind of are like, oh. Then when you see a fake one, you're like, oh, I see the difference. I see the difference. Now, I'm not saying that I can look at one and know exactly what's going on, but it wasn't even a good fake. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't even a good fake, because the lady was like, well, I'll get the machine and I'll test it. And she's like, if it does this, then it's a diamond. If it does nothing, then it's not a diamond. And girl, it did nothing. And she was like, this is costume jewelry. I could sell this for $2.99. And she's like, what about the jacket, the leopard jacket that I got married in? She's like, I don't sell clothes here. Do you see clothes? You ever drop that off at the Goodwill? And it's like, girl, did you think that leopard print was mink? Did you think that it was mink that was sprayed with leopard print? Leopard print, even if it were authentic from a leopard, which is disgusting, would not be worth any money. What animal did you think was this coat? Girl, you better take that down onto the Goodwill, okay? And have them give you like a donation tax form, because that's the only way you're going to get any money back from this outfit. Okay? It is not. She's like, oh, it sucks. So then she goes outside to call her mom, and her mom's like, hi. And she's like, hi, Mom. Can I have some money? And Mom is like, oh, so you only call me when you want money? And she's like, well, I've been in prison. And she's like, but girl, you've been out, and this is the first time you're calling me. How long have you been out? Oh, 2 weeks. She's been out for like 2 weeks, or at least a week. She hasn't called her mom not one time to be like, hey, Mom, I'm okay. The first time she calls her, she asks for money. And I'm just like, girl, she's so self-absorbed. This woman is not ready. She's not ready. She's not ready to be. I always wonder, like, when I see people who are like addicts and who are behave the way Courtney does, I wonder what their life would be like if they never touched drugs. Like, what kind of, would she be the same kind of person? Or, I mean, most likely, yeah. Yeah. So mom said no, you can't have any money from me. And she's like, okay, I guess. Bye, mom. And hangs up and then calls somebody else who is nameless. And she's like, can I have some money? And he gives her money. I'm assuming it's a he. He gives her money. So yeah, she's like, it's not my fault people want to give me money. I said, great. Yes, true. It's not your fault. And if someone will give it, I wish you know what? They make it seem like it's so easy to find somebody that she'll just give you money. It is not easy. I have been trying to find someone to just give me money for better on 3 weeks. I mean, 3 months now. I need to figure out where I need to find the pay pigs, who wants my feet pics. Like I am out here trying to figure out how I can get paid from my amenities. And it's all scammers and fakeness. It's all fake. It's all fake. I'm telling you right now. They're like, oh, sell your toes, sell your toe pics. I've been trying to sell my toe pics for a while now. No one's bought them. No one's bought them. Her mental age wouldn't be stilted. Oh, okay. That's probably drugs has removed her shame. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is a true statement. That is a true statement. Okay. So let's move on to JK and Brooke. Now, this is one thing where the needle moved and it got me a little sad. I'm gonna ask a very real question, and you can tell me the truth because I'm naive and I like to just believe whatever. I suspend my disbelief wholly when I watch this show, and also I don't like to assume because I can assume a lot very quickly. And when I'm watching people who have a different lifestyle than me, I just want to you just feed me the information. Who knew that JK was a drug addict? You can go ahead and leave a comment down below or put some in the chat. Who knew that he was on drugs? I don't know what I thought he went to prison for, but I did not think it was anything to do with him using drugs. Like maybe him, I don't know. Do I have a picture of him and it says what? No. Nope, not him. I don't have a picture of them. But I did not know it had anything to do with drug use. And what exactly was his crime? I did not know that. I did not know that. Okay. That is a fair call out. However, I will say that there are people who never go to the dentist because dentistry is not the same as a medical doctor. So I know people who have teeth missing just because their parents never took them to the dentist. So I didn't equate those two things like that. You know what I mean? Let him eat sugar and never took him to the dentist, and so they lost a couple teeth. But damn, I did not equate those things. That boy must have been down bad for him to lose his teeth at what? 32? That boy was down bad. I don't even know how people be losing their teeth. So silly Brooke is trying to talk to him and calling him and stuff. Oh yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. There's 31 people in the room. I don't know if you're capable of doing so. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if I gave you the hee ha-has, please feel free to tip me down below or use a super thanks. Okay, so silly Brooke is calling him. He's letting it go to voicemail. He's not interested in talking to her. And this is such a what to me a 180 from who he was before. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, he really hates her. I wonder why. Just because she didn't tell him she lost her job? What is really going on, right? That's my first thought. What is really going on? It's never drugs. It's just why does he really hate her? She's calling him. He's not picking up. She's like, I'm scared of needles, mama. Can you take me to get a blood test? And I'm like, girl, you have how many kids and you're scared of needles? But it's fine. You can be scared of needles. So her mother's like, I'll come over there and take you or go with you to the clinic to get a blood test. Where is your baby daddy? And she's like, I don't know. He's not answering his phone. And mother's like, exactly. And you wanted to have this man's baby. So mom is like, let me tell you what's going on. Because I have your brother who is also a drug addict. Now we find out that Brooke's brother is a drug addict. God darn it. Just surrounded by it. This girl is surrounded by it. That means her children are surrounded by it. And that means that she has to worry about her children possibly doing drugs. That is just not my reality. And so it is just all of a sudden it went from me like making fun of the both of them and like whatever to being like, fuck, this is like a pathology and I'm sad about it. But I'll, do my best. So mom's like, yeah, it sounds like he's back on drugs. And Brooke is just like, okay, well, I don't want to feel stupid. I guess I'm stupid. Yeah, girl, you stupid. Yeah, yeah, you stupid. You stupid. And so then we cut to JK. JK said he got a job. They took his ankle monitor off and he's got a new car. And I want to know how long it's been because the the last we saw him, he still had the ankle monitor on. She took 6 pregnancy tests. He didn't have no car, no job. Is it 2 days later? A week? How long has it been since the pregnancy test and the conversation with Kathy and the screaming stepdaddy? And now there is a decline, child. The decline is great. The decline is great. And so he's driving and he's talking about how there's so many temptations out there. And that's when I was like, temptations? Oh, drugs. He's like, yeah, man, temptations is wild out here. And then he goes to Alex's house. Alex's house looks like a den. It first of all looks like it was built in 1925, that it was one of them Sears catalog homes that got sent to you piece by piece, nail by nail, and that you and the neighbors got together and put this house up with direction, and it has not been looked at since. Okay? That's her great Mima's house. Everything is derelict and dilapidated. And again, my immediate thought isn't like drugs. My immediate thought is just poor. Like, oh, you don't have enough money, extra money. You're barely getting by to feed yourself. So of course you're not going to fix that door. Of course you're going to let these people record your home looking like that. Cause you don't got no money cause you poor. I get it. I get that. But girl, the drugs? The droga? Child, shit is wild. So it looks like a cracked in. And Brooke then is coming out of her spot from getting her blood drawn. She'll have the answers in a couple days. And she's like, everything is going on. Things are really crazy right now. And then we cut to JK, who the producers are like, hey, what did you and Alex talk about? Because after he went to Alex's house, he had her like the mics shut down and everything like that. And he's like, I don't know, everything, what did not everything is for everybody. Like he basically told the camera crew that they need to mind their own business. And then we have Brooke calling him and leaving a voicemail. And she's like, hey, just wanted to tell you that I went to the doctors to get a drug test to see if we are pregnant, so that if I am pregnant with our child, that you will know. So if you can call me back to let, to talk about if we are pregnant, that kind of stuff like that, right? And she pulls up to her home and Bonnie is leaving with the TV. So Bonnie has come back to get some stuff. And so she wants to go in on Bonnie. Cause she's like, oh, I'm glad you're here so I can tell your motherfucking ass off. First of all, get the fuck out of my business. And why the fuck did you be like, so why did you go back and why did you tell him this and yada yada yada? So just like, going off on Bonnie like her house isn't on fire. It's weird that Brooke's house is on full fire and she's standing in front of her house yelling at Bonnie, talking about, you don't know nothing about me and JK. You were supposed to be my homegirl, but then you went back and told him. And she's like, oh, well, I went back and told JK because the news that you told me was detrimental. If it wasn't detrimental, I wouldn't have said anything. And I'm like, how is Brooke having a job detrimental to JK? JK is living with his mama. Is he depending on Brooke for something? Is he depending on Brooke for something that I'm not aware of? Because why? They're not living together. She's not the sole income of their home. Why is it really that big a deal that she doesn't have a job? And the way he cussed her out was like so uncalled for. So Bonnie is trying to defend herself and is just like, does this thing where she's like, well, anyways, well, I'm not going to say that. And Brooke is like, oh, so I guess it must not be detrimental because if he did something, since we're friends, you would come back and let me know. So what were you about to say? She's like, it's not really my place. And she's like, girl, if you don't tell me. So Bonnie then tells Brooke that Alex just had a miscarry and that miscarry was JK's baby. Brooke is upset and Brooke is like, listen, I'm not saying she didn't have a miscarry. I'm saying how you know it was my baby daddy's baby. And she's like, well, he been over there. And I'm like, Bonnie, how do you know all of this? You little busybody. Bonnie being everybody's business. Um, and so, it's just like, she's like, well, don't worry about me and JK. We'll be fine. I'm like, you and JK are not together currently right now. This man is not answering your phone call, Brooks. So stop telling Bonnie or talking to Bonnie like you and JK are about to ride off into the sunset. You are not. Your house is on fire. And you are in the front yard yelling at Bonnie about the house not being on fire. That's crazy. So then Brooke got some more. How these people do all this driving? What the gas tank like? It's like $2.17 a gallon. And to me, they look like they live someplace rural. So like if you go into somebody else's house, it's another 45 minutes in one direction. It's a 30-minute in another direction. And it's another hour in the other direction. Like this is what it's giving me. It's giving me things are far apart. So she calls Kathy and she's like, I'm about to pull up on you. I'm like, oh, the disrespect. I'm about to pull up on you. You ain't about to do nothing. I'm about to pull up on you. Hey, mama, can I talk to you for a minute? No. Kathy need to start telling these grown people no. No, you're not. So anyways, Brooke runs up, gets with Kathy. Kathy comes out of her second job, sits on the curb and is upset crying because she's like, he's using again. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's on drugs, but like there's camera footage that she gave Matt Sharpnam. Okay. She gave it to the producers of Love Life After Lockup of JK outside on the porch, stumbling around, mumbling to himself. High AF or drunk. It looked high to me. And she's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the catalyst is. I don't know if he's stressed. I don't know if he's overwhelmed. I don't know what is making him do this. Girl, when they talk about the flesh being weak, I know they're talking about sex, but I mean like the brain will have you messed up. This person literally 2 weeks ago was talking to producers about thriving and having what did he call him and Brooke, a power couple, all this stuff, and now it is gone. Whatever the catalyst or the trigger, whatever it was, it is gone. He spent the last I don't know how many weeks trying to get Brooke pregnant, and he hasn't even kicked the habit of drugs. This man is about to bring life into the world, not using condoms and shit, and a week later is using drugs. Like it is like crazy to me. It's crazy to me how people just have like, to me, what I can only imagine is erratic thoughts that just make them do things that don't make any sense. So that's why it makes me sad, because before I never knew drugs was involved, right? If I had known drugs was involved with them trying to have babies and all that stuff, I wouldn't have been hee ha haing at this shit. You know what I mean? Look at his teeth here. Unfortunate. But these two people are doing this and she knows that he is an addict. Why do they think that these people can just kick this shit on their own? You need help. You need help. You can't just be doing shit on your own. She says that she doesn't want to look stupid for messing with JK. And I'm like, girl, you've been look stupid. That man called you all out your name. No. 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 Okay. Moving on to our last couple. Kiana and Deodric. She did it. Kiana did it. She did it. So the news that she got when she scampered off to the bathroom and took her mic off was from a detective, because Joella did the not normal thing. Okay. So Joella's car was vandalized. Somebody wrote dumb bitch on it and flattened all her tires. And she's not beefing with anybody but Kiana. So she's like, who else would do it? So instead of going over there and quote unquote beating up Kiana, which I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, a strong wind would blow Joella across that praying mantis can't beat nobody up. She looked like if somebody just look at her, her arm will break. So Brittle Bones think that she gonna go over there and fight Kiana. So she's like, no, she's like, I did what I was supposed to do. I did the right thing. I went to the police and I said, I think that she's the one who did it. So now everything is allegedly. And Kiana then doesn't just like, if you didn't do it, you would have that shit on camera. If you didn't do it, you would let them film it. She comes out of the bathroom and is just like, hi, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. Just, everything's good. No, I'm good. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go. And her coworkers are like, something up. She gets to the house. He's being filmed by other producers. And she's like, come here, come here. She pulls his ass into the bedroom, takes off their mics and tells him what's going on. Then the next scene is them deciding that they're going to finally tell producers what happened. And even then, Kiana still doesn't want to talk about it because she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I don't have nothing to say about that. And Joella is like, listen, I pressed charges against her and that was the right thing to do because I think she did it. I think there's nobody else who did it. And then Deodric's in the middle because he's like, why are you trying to involve the police? Deodric don't want no police involved in anything. Okay. He doesn't, if somebody in his family dies, he don't even want a police escort during a funeral. He don't want the police involved in anything. He thinks that if any police activity is occurring, it's going to somehow fall on him. And that's probably very true because I don't know what his crimes are either, but like guilty by association is what he's worried about. So he's like, listen, if Kiana catches a case and she becomes like, I don't know the word. She has a strike. I don't know. Then he's not going to be able to live with her. And Kiana's like, that's what I'm saying. She's trying to break us apart. And I'm like, Kiana, you done did more than $600 worth of damage on this literal woman who's poor. She got 3 kids. No one to help her. I'm sure she's getting assistance. I'm sure that home is an assisted home. This is literally a poor woman. And you have done damage to her Lincoln Continental. And you don't think and your only thought is she's trying to break y'all up? She's trying to feed them kids. What are you talking about? She would like their father to be in their lives. He hasn't been there for 6 years. She's had to do this shit on her. Girl, nobody's trying to separate y'all. Like she said, she's like, listen, if I wanted Deodric, I could have him. And I guess Kiana liked me too because she be all in my business. I said 100%. Now, I know I be making fun of Joella and she look crazy, but Joella ain't never made no sense until this episode. She ain't ever made no sense until this episode. So when Deodric and Kiana sit down, she's like, I didn't even do it. And he's like, oh, you didn't? Good. Okay. He thinks she did it too. And he's like, girl, well, why do we have to involve the police? I'm like, because that is the only recourse is the police. And Kiana seemed real scared because now the reality of the fact is that she has kids and she will lose access to them if she goes to prison off this shit. Now, I'm not saying, like, I don't know if Kiana did with her own hands, but she had somebody do it if she didn't do it. If she wasn't there driving the getaway car, then she sent somebody to do it. Because there ain't nobody would just carve up this girl's car for no reason. So now we got a scene of Joella at the car dealership or whatever, paying $600. So she paid $600 for tires, y'all. That hurt me. I don't have $600. My tire just went flat yesterday. I thought it was going to cost me $200 to get a new car a new tire. Thank God it was only $15 to patch it up. I never felt more blessed in my life. I might go to church on Sunday. Okay. Like $600 hurt me. So I can't even imagine what it's like with somebody with kids. And so, yeah, girl, Deodric gonna come over to Joella's house talking about, oh, why you got to do it like this to someone, a scarecrow. But Scarecrow said, Scarecrow? That is it. Joella praying mantis Scarecrow. It's hilarious. So, yeah, I'm sure she did it. So he gets over to Joella's house and is like, girl, why are you doing like this? Why you gotta make it like that? Like, why are you trying to do all this? And she's just like, listen, who else did it? And I'm trying to pay for these kids. So what are you talking about? He's getting loud. She's like, lower your mother fucking tone in this house. Lower your tone. And all he's worried about is himself. He's not worried about her. He's not trying to reimburse her for the shit. He did offer her money, but he needed to reimburse her. Even if Kiana didn't do it. She has 3 of your children. She had to pay $600. You need to give her $300 because if your kids would not be able to get to and fro. She's like, I got things to do. Okay. When he pulls up on her, she has already gone to Amazon and gotten all her little things for her business. And she got shit to do. She's trying to move forward. She's trying to be someone for her children. And she got to drop her kids off from school. She got to pick them up. She can't be walking around in a vandalized vehicle. Okay. As she's lucky that she has her mother there to help her. And she knows that. And he gonna come into the house talking about some nonsense. Girl, if you don't get the fuck up out my face, if you don't get out my face with this nonsense, you should be asking me how I'm doing. If I'm okay. Do I need help? Because yes, I do. I do need help. So yeah, so that's it, y'all. Like I said, this was a good episode. And a lot of things happened to move the needle forward. And I really hope we come out of the other side of it okay. I hope Brooke is not pregnant because JK is not fit to help her. I hope Kiana and Joella get their shit resolved. I keep cussing on this, and I'm probably not gonna get my monetization is gonna be shut down. But this was a cussing episode, okay? All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're in the Minneapolis area and you would like to come see me compete on Wednesday in this drag competition, it is Wednesday at the Gay 90s, 9 p.m. You can do so. Again, for those of you guys who weren't here, I'm a drag queen now. And here's some drag photos of me. And I won a competition last Wednesday. I got a paid gig on Sunday, and I'm in the finale that is happening on this Wednesday. And yeah, your girl be, on stage singing. So if you would like to join that, please join. If I made you laugh at any time during this and you want to tip me, you can do so with these options down below. Thank you so much, Jay Quellen, for your support, and anybody else who gave your girl a little tip. Love it. Love it. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe.